Welcome back, I'm the Watch Nerd. On this video, we're comparing 316 to 904. Now, I don't get into the technicals, I'm gonna tell you that, because there's just so much to do. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm just telling you my personal experience, and I have two pieces in front of me. But before I do flip you into it, I do want to keep announcing my Chanel chain giveaway. I'm going to be giving out this chain as soon as I hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to be entered, there's the 4 steps in the description below. It is completely free to enter. Now jumping into it, I'm just going to bring you a little closer. This is the difference between 904 316. Honestly, when I first saw this watch, this is the reference 16220 date just, and I'm sorry, I could not get another date just. We didn't have any in stock with 904, but they're pretty much, the bracelet's pretty much similar. They're both oyster bracelets. Now, of course, this has all the new mechanisms, but I'm trying to make it, you know, just about the steel. So that's why it's going to be pretty fast, not about the actual watch itself. So at the same time, yes, this is a bigger bracelet. And at the same time, I believe they're both 20 mil on these ones. So yes, it is about the same size for the bracelet, but as you notice, it's like chunkier. It goes into the Submariner's chunkier for sure, the bracelet. And the way it tapers, it's different from the older version. Now, at the same time, these ones, it's a heavier piece at the Submariner. There's no question about it. But the individual links just feel more solid. It feels a bit tinny. So I'm gonna shake it and you're gonna hear. It's not as bad as, like, let's say a Seiko, but you'll hear how, I'll hold it up to my ear here. That's the bracelet on this Datejust. Now let's go to, they're semi-solid links, not as solid as the Submariner, I find. That's the bracelet, this is the bracelet. And that's the actual rotor. So if somebody asked me on my last video if you can hear the rotor, you can hear it a bit if you hold it up to your ear, but it's not like other watches that have loud rotors. And Rolex wants you to feel the rotor, so that's why they did that. At the same time, this is not about that. This is just about the steel. And yeah, so of course, technical improvements are inevitable. You have press clasp here, and on the Submariner you have milled clasp. They started the milled clasp before this, the 41 I should say. They started on the previous generation, but during the 316 era, yes, they did use pressed clasp. So they used press clasps. Even with 904 on the Submariner, I believe the first 904s were press clasp before the ceramic. That was really when it changed. And yeah, so it just feels, you know, a little bit more tinny, not as solid. Of course, that's harder to say because this is older technology. Look at the end links compared to the other piece. So they're press clasp. So you see the end links are pretty solid, right? You know, but you can tell, like, it doesn't go perfect. Now let's look at the Rolex Submariner. Look at this. There's no question, this is probably the best bracelet in the world. And the Rolex Submariner bracelet is probably the best bracelet. As you look at that, look how that goes in. You know, it's very hard to really judge 316 and 904. Very, very hard, because Rolex never made this watch in 316 and 904, because that would be the easiest comparison. But at the same time, it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't feel as solid, because you can make definitely probably a solid watch, but there's corrosion that happens, and I get it. This watch came out this year. This watch came out in 1993. There are a bit difference in time, but at the same time, when this, you know, lives up to how long this has lived, let's say 20 years, I feel like this is going to have a lot less corrosion. We will see in the future, because we really don't know. But at the same time, I feel like 316 is less superior than 904. If you talk to any sales associate at any other store except for Rolex, oh, they'll just tell you, oh, it's just, you know, it's just shiny. They put 904 in their watches because it's shiny and they want to sell it. And they tell you, oh, 316 is industry standard. That is what you want to buy. This is what I got from an Omega salesman. I swear this is a true story. So I said, well, if you think about it, if it's industry standard and it's surgical steel, because that's 316L, Surgical steel is like brand new. You just use it and then it's done with. You throw it away. You don't go out, you don't wear it for many years, surgical steel. And 316, yes, it is, of course, industry standard, and we've seen vintage, even Rolex used a 316, but I definitely feel that there's different levels to it. Rolex it's just the way they make it, the way they polish it. 316 with Seiko is probably different than 316 with Rolex. Just the way, I think each one company does it differently. The finishing, not even the finishing, but the compound together. I don't know. I could be wrong, and I could just be my imagination, but definitely I have a Seiko SNK 809, and that stainless steel 316, because apparently it's 316, does not feel like this 316 steel. It just doesn't at all. Even wearing it, not even the feel, not even the brushing and polishing, because I get that. This is what, $5,000 watch, and the Seiko's a $100 watch. But just the over time, the usage, I feel like that will get corroded very fast compared to the Rolex. And at the same time, I think 904 is superior just from everything I've seen personally, and it's just very beautiful. Very hard to tell though. I bet, you know, if you had this watch in 316 and 904 and they're both brand new like this, it would be almost impossible to tell really the difference between the two. But that's just my opinion. I'm going to keep it short. We're already around the 6-minute mark here, just flipping ourselves around after that, after the intro. So I don't want to leave it too long, just to show you the difference. And I wish I could show you the Sea Dweller from the same time, because that used a 904, and I'll show you really, because you can tell the difference on the Sea Dweller. They changed in 1987, the Sea Dweller. This is 1993. They didn't change everything in the collection, changed in 2003. So this was the last reference of a Datejust. This is the newest Datejust, I should say, you can buy with 316L. And as you can tell, there's no drilled lug holes on this piece. So it's just very interesting piece to me. It even started with drilled lug holes too. And I almost bought this watch, but that's for another conversation. I didn't actually. And I'm not going to jinx it, because I'm going to try to get something else. And you'll see it later on my channel. But in the meantime, I want to wish you all a good day. And I will definitely see you in the next one. I'm very excited. Also, I just want to remind you the Chanel chain giveaway. There is the 4 steps in the description below for that. So if you want to get entered, it is down there. And that is it. Thank you. And I will definitely catch you in the next one. Have a fantastic day.